Okay, let's talk RCB, shall we? We knew Virat Kohli surely is going to be retained, was going to be one of the retentions. Glenn Maxwell as well. And joining them is Mohammed Siraj. That's just about it. So no Yuzvendra Chahal, Dan Vittori. He goes into the auction or to one of the new franchises.
Well, I think we've got to be. We obviously think Chahal would have stayed, or RCB would have wanted him. But I think the thing that we have to understand is that players want to go into the mega auction, or players want to be available to the two new teams. So it's hard to critique a franchise without knowing everything that's gone on in the background. But RCB have got three very good players. I mean, they've got two of the top T20 batsmen in world cricket. Maxwell coming off a great year and potentially being captain of RCB, and then one of the best Indian domestic bowlers. So, look, it's a really good three. I'm sure they would have loved to add Chahal to that, or even Harshal Patel or Deepak Padukal. But those three players potentially wanted to try their hand at the auction, and I think we'll see that a reoccurring theme of that throughout the retentions.
If you had to pick between Siraj and Harshal Patel, I mean, I know they could very well have asked Harshal, maybe he said, no, you don't know what's gone on there. But if you had to pick just a bowler that you would retain, if you could retain one, would Siraj be the pick over Harshal, Dan?
I mean, in our preview, I said Harshal Patel purely because of that slow ball. I thought that slow ball was a differentiator and allowed him to be successful in all conditions. And for someone like Siraj, it comes down to execution, and which he does exceptionally well, but sometimes execution going awry, and you can have those tough games. Whereas Harshal, no matter the conditions, he can always rely on that slow ball, which has proved so effective against everyone. So that would have been the tipping point for me to lean towards Harshal as the third retained player.
Naga?
Yeah, I think the trouble, as we were talking earlier, is that Siraj, of course, was in contention with Harshal as a fast bowler. Now, if you retain, and then there was Padikal, of course, and Chahal, but I guess Chahal might have told also that he wants to move on, in a sense, put himself up in the auction, possibly. But with Siraj, what happens is, like, he was bought at 2.6 crores last time. I was just checking the numbers. Now, how much are you going to get him in the auction, even if you put him in the auction? And if they value him as a future, as an all-skill fast bowler, and they believe that this is a guy who I can buy for cheap right now, I don't know what is the price they would have gone for in terms of third player. They will have to pay him. What is it? 7 crores minimum if they've retained only three. Yeah, they've retained only three players, so 7 crores. Is he worth 7 crores today? Yeah, maybe if you put him in the market. So it's a bargain price for them. Whereas Harshal, losing him, Dan was mentioning that, Harshal might want to go out and see how much he's worth right now based on winning even the Orange Cap, or he was one of the best bowlers last season, correct? So, I mean, the rumor was that these three were the guys who were in contention. Possibly two of them wanted to go into the auction or ask for more money.
I think Chahal's just sick of bowling at Chinnaswamy. He wants to go to Ahmedabad with a big boundary, and he can go and have some fun there.
Yeah, why not? Right, we also know that they're going to be looking for a captain in a post-Kohli the captain era. Do they already have that in Glenn Maxwell among the retentions, Dan? Or are they going to be looking for one in the auction? Maybe David Warner, if he finds himself there. I don't know who the other strong captaincy contenders are. There are not too many.
Look, I think Maxwell will be the likely heir to Kohli. He obviously produced in this last year, and he was an exceptional player for them. He has the experience of captaining the Melbourne Stars. So, look, I think once again in the preview we talked about most teams wanting to find a captain in their retained players. We just had Venky on to suggest otherwise, but I think it's happened too often to see that teams know they've got a captain, know they can lock that away, and they don't have to, I suppose, find one in the auction, which can cloud your thinking at times. So I do believe that Maxwell will be named captain. It could just be for one season to see how it goes, but it's a pretty good stopgap measure as they build to the future.
You see that as a risk at all, Dan? If after his best possible season, after so many years, you just don't want that to change. There's also no AB de Villiers next year now. Do you really think Maxwell as captain would be the way you'd go, and is a good idea?
Look, I think there is a rewarding of performance, and I'm sure Kohli had a huge say in all this. I mean, he would have just stepped away to allow someone that he hadn't really interacted with come in and take over the team. So I can see Kohli and Maxwell being kindred spirits. You see them on the field; they're so aggressive. The way they run around the field, they have similar demeanors. So I believe that would have played a part in it all. So look, we're speculating a little bit, but it seems like the likely scenario.
Yeah, I was very surprised by Siraj's inclusion rather. I just felt that Padikkal, Harshal, and Chahal would go for a much larger price in the auction, so it makes sense to retain them. But having said that, if you're in search of a captain, Ranak, then, or if you're in search of a particular player who you think you badly want and you think that that person's going to go for a lot of money, you need to save up some cash. So I think RCB are going that route. They're looking for particular 2 or 3 particular players they feel that will go for a lot of money, and they want to keep that their purse intact for that and challenge the other team. So that could be the only major reasoning I feel in retaining only